A beautiful day begins with a powerful decision, and today you chose to grow. Welcome to Speak Power Daily. I am Charlotte, your host and your biggest cheerleader. I am so happy you decided to press play today. Whether you are walking your dog, washing the dishes, or driving to work, I am thrilled to be a part of your day. Take a moment to shake out your shoulders, smile, and get ready, because today we are talking about something very special. We are talking about connection. Specifically, we are going to explore how to make new friends. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You might be thinking, "Oh, Charlotte, that is scary. I am shy." Or maybe, "I am an adult. I don't need new friends." But let me ask you a question. Remember when you were 5 years old? You would walk into a playground, see another kid, and say, "I like your shoes. Do you want to play?" And just like that, boom, you were best friends. It was so simple. It was so natural. But then, we grew up. We became adults. And suddenly, making friends became complicated. We started worrying. What if they don't like me? What if my English isn't perfect? What if I look silly? We built walls around ourselves to feel safe. But here is the truth. Those walls that protect you also trap you. They keep you lonely. As English learners, this topic is even more important for you. Why? Because language is a bridge. You are not learning English just to talk to your mirror or your cat. You are learning English to connect with human beings, to share stories, and to understand different cultures. If you want to speak fluent English, you eventually need people to speak with. Think of making a new friend like planting a seed in a garden. You cannot force a tree to grow overnight. You cannot scream at a flower, "Grow faster!" It takes patience, it takes water, and it takes sunlight. But before any of that can happen, you have to dig a hole and put the seed in the ground. You have to take that first step. Today, we are going to break down those walls. We are going to look at how to be brave, how to find your people, and how to turn strangers into friends. It doesn't matter if you are an extrovert who loves parties or an introvert who loves books. Friendship is for everyone. And trust me, the world is full of people who are waiting to meet someone just like you. They are just waiting for you to say, "Hello." So, we have decided to plant the seed of friendship. We want to say hello. But then, something stops us. We freeze. We feel that familiar knot in our stomachs. Why? Usually, it is because we believe a lie. We believe that everyone is watching us. We think that if we make a grammar mistake, or if we use the wrong word, the other person will laugh at us. We imagine a giant spotlight shining directly on our faces while everyone else is in the dark, judging our performance. I have some good news and some bad news for you. The bad news is that you are not the center of the universe. The good news is that you are not the center of the universe. This is actually very liberating. Most people are not thinking about your English. They are not counting your verb tense mistakes. They are thinking about themselves. They are worrying about their own hair, their own job, or what they are going to eat for lunch. When you realize that people are mostly focused on themselves, the pressure disappears. You can relax. But this brings us to our secret weapon for making friends. If people like to talk about themselves, the best way to make them like you is to let them do it. The secret is curiosity. There is a famous saying, "To be interesting, be interested." Read that again in your mind. To be interesting, be interested. You do not need to be the funniest person in the room. You do not need to have perfect pronunciation or tell amazing stories about climbing Mount Everest. You just need to be a good listener. You need to be a detective of human beings. For English learners, this is like magic. When you ask someone a question about their life, two amazing things happen. First, they feel special. Everyone loves to feel heard and understood. It makes them feel good around you. Second, and this is the best part for you, it takes the pressure off your speaking skills. When you ask a question, they have to do the talking. They have to do the work. You can just relax, listen, and nod your head. You get free listening practice, and they think you are a wonderful conversationalist. So, instead of worrying about what you will say next, focus on them. Prepare 3 magic questions in your pocket before you leave your house. Simple things like, how do you know the host of this party? Or, what is the best thing that happened to you this week? Or simply, that is a cool bag. Where did you get it? These are small keys that unlock big doors. Think of conversation like a game of tennis. You don't want to hold the ball and give a speech. You just want to gently hit the ball to the other side of the net. Ask a question and wait for the ball to come back. By shifting your focus from, how do I look, to, who are you? The fear melts away and real connection begins. Now that you have started the conversation with a question, you might be wondering, what comes next? This is the part that makes many people nervous. You picture yourself standing there, smiling, while a tumbleweed rolls by in the silence. But don't worry. The next step is simply searching for a bridge. Imagine that every person is a separate island. I am an island, and you are an island. Between us is a big ocean of unknown things. To visit each other, we need to build a bridge. In the world of friendship, that bridge is called common ground. It is a shared interest, a shared hobby, or even a shared struggle. This is where many English learners make a mistake. They try to make friends just because they want to practice English. They go to a stranger and think, I want your language. But that is a transaction, not a friendship. It feels a little bit cold, doesn't it? Real friendship happens when you look at someone and say, wait, you like that too? I thought I was the only one. So instead of hunting for English speakers, I want you to hunt for people who love what you love. Think about your passions. Do you love cooking? Do you love hiking? Do you love playing video games or knitting sweaters for your cat? Whatever it is, use that passion as your magnet. When you join a club or a group based on a hobby, the pressure to speak perfect English disappears completely. Imagine you join a photography group. You are all walking around a park, taking pictures of birds. You are not standing face to face in a quiet room, staring at each other. You are looking at the birds. You are looking at the camera. The focus is on the activity, not on your grammar. If you don't know the word for lens, you can just point to it. If you can't explain how you feel, you can show them your photo. The activity fills the silence. It gives you something natural to talk about. You are not trying to make conversation. You are just two photographers enjoying a sunny day. This is how organic friendships grow. You bond over the shared experience. Maybe you both get caught in the rain during a hike and you laugh about being wet. Maybe you both burn a cake in a cooking class. These small moments create memories, and memories create bonds. So, look at your weekly schedule. Where can you add a social hobby? Is there a book club at your local library? Is there a running group in the park? Even an online community for video gamers counts. When you lead with your passion, you attract the right people. You attract people who understand your island, and they will be happy to build a bridge to yours. We have talked about saying hello, asking questions, and finding shared interests. You have met someone nice. You have had a good conversation. Congratulations! But here is the tricky part. Just because you had one good conversation does not mean you are friends. Right now, you are acquaintances. An acquaintance is someone you know, but a friend is someone you trust. There is a gap between meeting someone and actually becoming part of their life. Many potential friendships die in this gap. You meet someone, you say, "Let's hang out sometime," and then silence. Weeks pass, months pass, and you never see them again. Why? Because sometime is not a day of the week. Sometime is code for never. To cross this gap, you need to be the brave one. You need to be the leader. Many people are passive. They sit at home and wait for the phone to ring. They think, if they liked me, they would invite me. But guess what? The other person is sitting at home thinking exactly the same thing. If Charlotte liked me, she would invite me. And so, nobody invites anybody, and everyone stays lonely. Do not wait for permission. Be the architect of your social life. If you meet someone you like, issue a specific invitation. Don't say, "We should get coffee." Say, "I am going to try that new coffee shop on Saturday morning. Would you like to join me?" Notice the difference? The second option is concrete. It has a time and a place. It is easy for the other person to say yes or no. And if they say no, don't panic. It probably means they are busy on Saturday. It does not mean they hate you. You can simply say, "No problem, maybe another time." Another powerful way to deepen a friendship is to show vulnerability. In the beginning, we show our Instagram self, the perfect, shiny version of who we are. But real connection happens in the messy parts. It happens when you admit, "Actually, I am a little nervous about my job interview tomorrow," or "I had a really hard day." When you open up just a little bit, you give the other person permission to open up too. You show them that you are human. You show them that you are safe. It is like taking off a heavy mask. It feels lighter, and it allows the other person to see your true face. Remember, consistency is key. Just like watering a plant, you need regular contact. Send a funny meme. Share a song you like. It doesn't have to be a big, serious conversation. It just has to be a little signal that says, "Hey, I am thinking of you." These small drops of water keep the friendship alive and help it grow roots deep into the ground. We have arrived at the end of our journey today, my friends. We have traveled from the fear of saying hello to the joy of building a bridge. We have learned that curiosity is your superpower, that hobbies are your magnets, and that being brave enough to say, "Let's grab coffee," can change your life. But before I let you go, I want to leave you with one final thought. It is a thought about courage and rejection. I know that even with all these tips, there is still a small voice in your head. It whispers, "But Charlotte, what if they don't like me? What if I try to make a friend and they say no?" Here is the truth. Not everyone will want to be your friend, and that is perfectly okay. Think about it. Do you like every single song on the radio? Do you like every flavor of ice cream? No, you have your preferences. People are the same. We are like radio stations. We are all broadcasting on different frequencies. When you meet someone and you don't connect, it doesn't mean your music is bad. It just means they are tuned to a different station. Rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It is just a sign that you haven't found your tribe yet. If someone doesn't have time for you, or if they are rude, simply bless them and move on. You are saving space for the people who will love your music. You are saving space for the friends who will laugh at your jokes and help you with your English vocabulary. And speaking of English, please, I beg you, never let your language level stop you from making friends. Your accent is not a flaw. It is a badge of courage. It shows the world that you are brave enough to operate in a second language. Real friends do not care about perfect grammar. They care about your heart. They care about your kindness. If someone judges you for a verb mistake, they are not friend material anyway. You are looking for connection, not an English teacher. So, here is my challenge for you this week. I want you to be the one who smiles first. I want you to be the one who sends that text message. I want you to look at the world not as a scary place full of strangers, but as a treasure hunt full of potential friends. You are interesting, you are valuable, and you have so much to offer. Don't hide your light because you are afraid of the dark. Shine bright, ask questions, and open your heart. The world is waiting to meet you. Thank you for letting me be your friend today through your headphones. I am so proud of you for showing up and doing the work. Go out there, take a deep breath, and say hello. I'm Charlotte, and this has been Speak Power Daily. Until next time, remember to be brave, be kind, and always speak power to your life. Goodbye.